Hey everybody, what's up? It's your friend James Shaw. Thanks for being here. You know what we do? We like to talk to elite people who are doing elite things. And when I think elite, this guy comes to mind to me. Montez, what's going on, friend?
Hey, how are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. Will you introduce yourself to our community so they know who you are? And then you and I are going to have a pretty cool conversation.
Okay, awesome. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Montaz McCray, born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I currently service the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. And currently, right now, I'm in my third year of real estate. And so I've just been working really, really hard to just sustain what I built over the last couple of years. We all know that the market is shifting. It looks very different in different areas. But one thing that I do know is that consistent actions breed consistent results. So just waking up every day, doing the same thing, even if it feels mundane, but again, just being consistent because we know eventually results will come.
Run the plays. That's what we always say. Just know the plays and run the plays and do the right things, and the right result will happen. You got off to an amazing start. We've interviewed you a couple of years ago, and back then, you had a job that was a good paying job. Your mom was real proud of you to have this job. You got your real estate license. They found out you got your real estate license and fired you, and so then you had no choice but to go start this business. And if I remember, your mom was not all on board with this either. She was real proud of her son who had this really good job and didn't really love you going into the real estate space. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you're 100% right. And for her, and again, making the type of money that I was making, like right out of college at 21 years old, it was really like unprecedented and unheard of
Mhm.
for my family. So, for her, it's like I already made it, right? She was
Yep.
already super proud of me. But again, I just saw something, I saw so much more in real estate, right? The ability
Yep.
to impact lives. And I love the fruits of my labor, being involved in real estate. I
Yeah.
just can see what I'm working for a lot more vividly. And that just really keeps me going and drives me every day.
No doubt. And you had a great first year. Tell us kind of what you finished with that year, which is what prompted us meeting a few years ago.
Yeah. So again, I did not sell a home my first 6 months in a business. And for all my new agents, it's important to know that you get paid in arrears in real estate. So the stuff that you do today, you'll get paid 3 months from now on it potentially. That person that you meet today, that relationship that you create today, again, it may come to fruition. Typically it takes at least 3 months. So it took me 6 months to sell my first home. But from that point on, I didn't sell like less than three houses a month, and I ended up selling 35 houses my first year in real estate for about 11.5 million in real estate transaction value.
That's amazing. It's absolutely awesome. And then it's only grown from there. You've had some amazing time. Where do you think you're going to finish 2023? Like you said, market's down some, and it's been different. But where do you think you're going to finish this year?
Yeah, so I've already closed about like 21 million this year. So probably somewhere between 23 to 26 million in
Hmm.
closed transaction value.
Yeah.
Fingers
Fingers
crossed.
crossed. Yeah, we're in the home stretch, no doubt. So I want to talk about the path to doing that because you said, look, it's about being consistent. It's about showing up and doing the right things every day, even if it gets mundane, I think is what you said. So for
Mhm.
you, what are the right things that you've got to do every day?
Yeah, so just waking up every day. Well, every day I'm at my desk by 9. I'm here. I'm checking emails. I'm going over everything with my operations manager. Me and my operations manager, we meet with my transaction coordinator and then also my executive assistant, which is a virtual cyberbacker, is on that call, and we do that every day at 9:30 to about 9:45. So we know what's going on with all of our files. Typically, I'm running about 8 to 15 deals at a time. So it's just important to me that we do everything the right way and we like stay on top of everything. So we do these meetings just to make sure that nobody misses a beat. And so what I'd like to say I've built is like a moat around my client service because it's just like there's myself, there's my transaction coordinator, there is my operations manager, and there is my executive assistant as well. I'm like, we should not be missing much because we have four people, monitoring every transaction at a time or who's immersed in the transaction. So we shouldn't be missing much. But 9:30 during that morning meeting, about 9:30 to 10 a.m. with my team, because everybody needs to know what they're doing. One thing about running a team, one thing that I learned about leadership and running a team is that you don't want to guess what your team members are doing. So take the time to take that 15 to 30 minutes in the morning and make sure everyone is on the same page and that they know exactly what they need to be doing for the day, because it'll save you anxiety and wondering if your team is doing what they need to be doing. And it'll just help set the direction and set the pace for the day. After that, like 10 to 12, like typically I like to lead generate. My operations manager is doing a lot of like, follow-up calls for me and things of that nature, and helping me out there. But I'm lead generating with like prospective leads and trying to secure I'm trying to set up the 30 to 60, 90 days from now, right? Because it's nice to have 8 to 15 deals under contract, but how are we going to eat 30 to 60, 90 days from now? So, I'm following up things of that nature and just procuring that business for the next 30, 60, 90 days. And after about 1 o'clock, I go into like client service. And so, hey, am I meeting a client for a closing, or do I need to do a showing really quick for a VIP client, XYZ, or am I prepping for a networking event? Because I'm a really relational, how I run my business, I'm really relational. Yes, of course, there's a sales component to this, but I'm about building relationships and helping put people in the best position.
We're going to talk more about that. I'm curious, though, as your business has grown and you've added people to your team, because when you and I met, it was you were doing the stuff, right? So when you add people to the team, you're spending some time on the front end in the morning to make sure client care is good, because you want your clients happy to earn referrals. But how do you keep from getting distracted in the other stuff? Because what you're telling me is, look, by 9:30, 10 o'clock, you're all in on lead gen till noon or 1 or whatever it works out. How do you make sure that you don't get lost in the keeping the 15 to 18 deals together, and you're continuing to fill the pipeline instead?
Right. So with my team, I kind of like set up like, hey, if the client has to reach out to us and ask us a question, we failed. They should have already been prepared with this information. So, like me and my operations manager, we had that conversation a lot. Like, hey, you should be reaching out. Hey, Montez wanted me to call you and let you know that the inspection tomorrow is scheduled at 5 p.m. and the buyer should have the home inspection back within 48 hours. And then if they're going to submit a property inspection notice, they have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Just wanted to let you know what to expect. And again, once we get things confirmed and we get the pen in writing, we'll send it to you immediately. So now they're not calling and asking questions because we've already set it up. So that's how I'm training my operations manager, again, just to keep them informed. I don't want them calling us, asking us like, hey, like what's going on with this? What's going on with that? Like, no, they already should have an update.
We've got to anticipate. That's what you're doing. You're anticipating what's coming. You're training the team to stay on top of it so that you can focus on what you do best, which is connect with people and build relationships. So what does lead gen look like for Montez? That's what I'm curious about.
Lead gen for me. So again, I lead gen around things that are fun to me. Like I like to go to the gym. So, I'm build relationships at the gym, maybe met somebody and we had a great conversation. And now, hey, do you want to get a workout in? And, we worked out. So now I'm lead genning around what I like to do, which is working out, going to networking events. I'm just big on just putting myself out there and create relationships. Bob Lucido said it. The best way to get a client is belly to belly, right? And just having somebody feel your energy and things of that nature. And then, just being a good person to people. I think like you don't, and it doesn't cost much. Like, so I'll give you an example. I have a client, his name is Herman, and I sold him a house. Great friend of mine. He told me that he wanted a new job, right? He wanted a new job. He was looking for something different. And so I just went on Instagram and posted, hey, is anybody hiring in the economics field? One of my clients has a great background. He has a bachelor's degree and has, 5 years of solid work history. He's looking for a new position. Simple. Didn't cost me anything. 5 different hiring managers or HR personnel of different organizations reached out to me with different job positions, and I was able to send them all to him and then connect him with a few of those individuals who had some influence over the next hire would be. So just like doing simple stuff, I did a kit. So how it all came about is because I did a care call with him. Just, hey man, I'm checking in. How are you? Like, do you need anything? Like, Do you need contractors information? Do you need a painter? Like, is everything okay? And he was like, yeah, everything is fine. Love the house. But he just told me he was looking for a new position. And then so I was able to do something like that. And now he will cherish and value me for life because I took the time just to do something that's super simple for me, but it was very impactful for him.
I mean, that seems to be the key. I hear this all the time from people. It's you talked about building a moat around your client care, but you also build a moat around your database so that people don't leave it. People want to stay inside of it. And I guess, is it that really that simple, that you call to check in, see how your people are doing, and then when they share with you that they're looking for something, you help connect them with somebody else. You do that sort of stuff. You're just involved in this person's life. So when they need to do a real estate deal next or run into somebody who does, they go, well, you've got to call Montez. That's the guy you have to work with because he's been so helpful to me. I mean, is it really just that simple? Talk to your people and help them accomplish what they want to accomplish?
Yeah. And then again, like, just be relational, help people, focus on their well-being. So the first year, again, I sold 35 houses, 11.5 million in value. And for me, I was just I was in a great space monetarily wise. I saved a lot of money. So my second year, I was just able to advise, and of course, my first year I did it too. I was just able to advise my clients just at a high level, like beyond me, taking whatever I got out of it. It's just solely about them, solely about the client, and that helped my business grow, well, actually double, because I sold that my second year I sold 78 houses for 21.5 million. But it was just the fact that I'm not really worried about me. I'm worried about how my client Beverly is purchasing this $500,000 house. I'm like, hey Beverly, when we first started, you told me you wanted your payment to be 2,500. I know you're in love with this house. The payment is 3,100. Are you going to be fine with that? Like, are you going to be okay with that payment because it's $600 higher than what you originally told me? So having conversations like that, like most people are like, yes, Beverly's buying a house higher than anticipated, but I'm actually taking a step back to make sure that Beverly actually realizes what she's about to get into, because that conversation could, make Beverly want to say, hey, maybe she is getting in over her head and maybe she does want to cancel the contract. And I'm okay with that, right? Because I'm just not in relationship with Beverly just for this sale. I want to be in relationship with Beverly over the next 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And she will always understand and know, like, Montez actually really cared, because I do. It's, for me, it's just like, it's beyond the sale. I'm in it for the long run with my clients.
Yeah, that's really good. And by the way, if she does have a $3,100 payment when she originally wanted a $2,500 payment, it might feel okay in the moment because we got all this emotion around it. But 6 months later, if she can't afford that extra $600, that puts a big strain. She's mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
She's mad at you. Why did you let me buy this house? I told you what I wanted my payment to be, even though she made the decision on her own to buy it. She gets
Yeah.
mad at you. That's really good advice. I'm curious about, what is the biggest lesson you've learned in the last 3 years as you've been on this journey? You have gotten a lot of pub. You have been on stage with Gary. You've been able to share a lot of stuff that you have done. But I want to know, what have you learned that other people can learn too?
What have I learned? Um, I guess one of the biggest things, Jay Papasan told me, he was gracious and kind enough to do a one-on-one with me, and he told me something that really stuck with me. Real estate agents, that you start making money, do not live above your means, or just try to increase your lifestyle too fast, because when it comes time to make pertinent decisions in your business, you won't be you don't want to make decisions in your business because of your personal finances. It just doesn't work that way. So, I mean, I had to take myself back and do a lot of like self-reflection and self-analysis when it came time for me to hire my operations manager, because it was a different type of pay that I had to offer, to entice somebody to work for me, 40 to 50 hours a week. So I was like judging a lot of my decisions on what I could pay based on like things that I was doing in my personal life, and it should never be like that. So that was something that was really, really, really important to me and stuck with me. And then I will also just say, like, focus on being a good just, I mean, it's simple, but just really being a good person, really valuing somebody else again. And then people say it all the time, clients over a commission, but do you really know what clients over commission entails, right? And just really living and embodying that, and it will serve you so much more than just being transactional with clients.
Oh, that's so good. What's the biggest mistake you've made, Montez?
Biggest mistake. Hmm. Biggest mistake. I guess I would say not leveraging soon enough.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
common. A lot of people say that. So you would have added talent to your group sooner than you did.
sooner. And then,
Why is that?
you have a lot going on. Like you have imposter syndrome. Can I sustain this for a long amount of time? It like, is this just a fluke? So you want to just try to keep all the money, or, try to keep everything to yourself. But, after you get some momentum, hire that transaction coordinator, bring on that virtual assistant, hire that operations manager, because now since I have that operations manager, I have my time back so I can go out and try to find one or two more deals, or even three deals a month, because she's helping me keep the back end together. So now I can go golf, with my golf with my friends. But I met three new people,
Yeah, I
right?
say that's lead gen for you. So I don't want to have somebody here, oh, he's just going to play golf. Your lead gen is hanging out with people belly to belly doing stuff you like to do. So we got to get you out to be able to do that, right?
And so
Yeah.
having the operations manager has allowed me to do that. Going on vacation, I met leads on vacation. I met
Mhm.
leads on vacation, or potential prospects on vacation. Me being able to leave work early, know that hey, she's gonna hold down a fort from 4 to 7, but now I can go to a networking event and
Yeah.
meet more qualified people. So that's it's been a pivotal hire in my business.
That's great. You've had some great success with the market, though, down this year, down the year before. I've met a lot of agents that, quite frankly, they're struggling. They're struggling. They're doing a lot of stuff. They're not seeing the results they want. They're really trying, though. They're in the game. What advice would you give that person?
I would just tell them to keep going, double down on your relationships, if you're not as busy, make your care calls, just find innovative things that you can do do for your tribe, right? And then, like, I'm working on, like, hey, I know I want to join a board soon, or like join a social club. Just, and again, like Alan Johnson, he was doing an interview with the Color of Money podcast. He said that's not necessarily a money move, it's a people move, right? And then if you can do things that will impact people, and then do it in a positive way, it'll help you grow as well, right? So just doing stuff to increase your network. But I would just say, hey, double down, double down, right? If this market is to 2 times slower than what it was last year, then your actions you need to increase your actions by 3x. You need to feel uncomfortable. If you're doing the same things that you were doing last year, you shouldn't. You should feel a lot more uncomfortable right now, because you need to 2x to 3x your actions.
Yep. You called it a people move, not a money move. But I want you to know, people. I mean, I want people to know, people moves turn into money moves over time. But, when you start a business, your business, and you've talked about this a lot in here, you're a people business. You're relational. You want to make sure that your team is anticipating what your clients need. You want to be guiding and advising your people in the right way. You gave us the example about Beverly wanting a $2,500 payment, moving to a $3,100 payment. Make it you are a people first person, and when you build a business, you can either make it about money or about people. You get to pick. Most people say it's about people, but it's really about money. In other words, we only talk to them when they're paying us. That's most real estate agents. You only talk to the people in your database when they're paying you. But you're saying, no, make it about the people. Check in with them, call them and see how they're doing, offer to help them when they need help, anticipate their needs, check in on them. And when you do that, the business comes your way and you're proof of it. Montez, you're a genius, man. I appreciate you so much. You are a gift to this industry. It's a blessing to have you part of this Keller Williams family. And I'm proud of you, and I honor you and celebrate you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Really, really appreciate it, James.